On this absolutely splendid Saturday afternoon on the north side of Indianapolis, we welcome you to one of the most unique events that we get to cover every year on the ISC Sports Network. For a third time in the last 4 years, we are at the Beep Ball Bonanza here on the campus of North Central High School. 8 beep ball baseball teams, that's baseball/softball, for those that are visually impaired, come together in preparation for the upcoming World Series, which takes place later this summer. This event is hosted by the Indy Thunder. They are one of 2 Indianapolis teams in the tournament. And today the Thunder, the 5-time beep ball world champions, are taking on the Chicago Comets. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us here on the ISC Sports Network. Joining me on the broadcast is, well, the man behind this tournament, and he is normally the coach of the Indy Thunder. He still is, but he's relinquishing his coaching duties for today and potentially tomorrow's championship game. Darnell Booker is my very talented expert analyst for our next couple of days, these broadcasts on the ISC Sports Network. We say hello to those of you watching statewide today on Comcast 81. Darnell, it is a pleasure to work with you. I've been friends for almost 25 years at this point. I know this is a labor of love for you. For those that don't know about this event, tell us about what all is going on here at North Central these next couple of days.
Well, thanks, Greg, for having me, and it's a pleasure working with you on these next couple of days. It'll be two great days of competition with 8 teams across the United States of America, and we have, like I said, 8 teams that are here this weekend. All the way, the furthest is from Texas, and then the 2 Indianapolis teams from the north side and the south side mixed in with Cleveland, New Jersey, Atlanta, Gateway out of St. Louis. Also just and then Chicago out of Illinois. So 8 great teams here of competition, and it looks like it's been a fun day of great competition, and we look forward to a great game today.
So for those that don't know the basics of beep ball, we will do the best to give you the elevator speech as we speak. What you are seeing now is a little fielding practice being taken by the Indy Thunder. But 6 players in terms of on a team, 6 players that would be as part of the batting lineup, 6 players that would be in the field. One thing that is different this year, at least at this event, in the past it has been 4 strikes. This year it has been 3. Darnell, explain to us the rationale behind that change.
Well, the change is we're wanting more data because it's been discussed in the Rules Committee. There's a lot of the teams and a lot of people are trying to make it as much traditional baseball as possible. So we're doing a lot of, we're getting some data information to do the 3 strikes where it will be 1 pass. You can still have your 1 pass ball. So this weekend your count will be 12 instead of 13. And then and we're getting some good results and some good data on it. So hopefully if it does come out of committee and pass with the General Assembly, it'll be implemented next year throughout the season and the World Series.
Now, in terms of the pitcher is for the team that is batting. The pitcher's intention is to throw it to a spot where the batter can do the most damage with it. You hear the beeping noise. That is the ball going off. That is what, at first, the batter uses to sense where to swing, but then the fielders use in terms of where to track it down. You will also hear a secondary sound during the course of active play. That is one of 2 bases that will be going off. Those are random. Those change. So you'd be running either the equivalent of down the first baseline or the third baseline, and the bases are set 10 feet in foul territory to avoid any potential contacts on fair balls, etc. There's the base that you would see down the equivalent of the first baseline. There is no such thing as the running of the bases. Either it is a run or it is an out. Once the ball is hit, the batter runs to the base that is beeping. That is 100 feet away. The fielders are trying to get the ball before the runner gets to that base. Once the fielder has the ball, they will make sure they extend the ball up in the air so the umpire can see to try to make calls a bit easier. If the batter gets the base first, it's a run. If the fielder gets the ball first, it is an out. 3 outs in an inning. We will play 6 innings. If we have to go extra innings, we will have extra innings. And something, Darnell, I know that you are very proud of. We will have instant replay for our umpire, who is the lead umpire for all of National Beep Baseball, and Jared Price. He will have replay behind home plate at his discretion if needed for today's game.
Yeah, Jason was pumped up about about the instant replay, and as am I. That just gets it, more credibility, so the umpires can make sure they absolutely get it right. I mean, because there's bang plays in beep ball, whether their back is turned in the outfield or the batter hits the base. It could be a bang play, so they have that device to go look at and make sure they make the correct play, even though the field umpire and the home plate umpire gets together and talks about it. If they're still not sure, they have that technology to go to.
Let's talk about your team, the Indy Thunder. Again, 5-time world champs, but I know this has been a retooling year for your very storied program.
Yeah, it is. It's a real retooling year, a transition year. We're not gonna make any excuses. We're gonna get out there and compete. We have that DNA of championship DNA. So these games we're competitive. We want to win them, but the ultimate goal is the World Series, and we're still the champs until somebody beats us twice. And we just hopefully, we can get our everything together by the World Series. But I look forward to a competitive game against the upstart and Chicago Comets.
And let's tell us about the Chicago Comets, a historically important program in terms of beat baseball and their head coach.
Oh yeah, Chicago is just like I said. It's been a great team and a great organization throughout their 20-year plus existence in the National Beat Baseball Association. And their coach, JT Herzog, is very well known and respected throughout the league, and he just teaches the great fundamentals of beat baseball, and you'll see that today out of his team.
All right, with that, one more thing about the tournament. 8 teams here, pool play. This is the third game for each of these two teams. The Thunder, if they have to win to be in the championship game tomorrow, there is a scenario where they could win and not make the championship game. So we'll talk about what the ramifications are for the one game tomorrow throughout the course of this one. You see the fire-ups taking place as we speak. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, first pitch in our third pool play game of the day. Indy Thunder, Chicago Comets, and it comes your way next. The Beep Ball Bonanza here on the ISC Sports Network.
Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to travel around their homes and towns. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired. Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to keep living at home. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired.
Brewer jams it home.
That ball wiggles in and into the back of the net.
A little fireworks in the first half.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness. 122-6-0 for Penn.
What a swim! Six of them.
There is not a lack of emotion before each of these games. Greg Regstraw, Darnell Booker with you. Happy to bring you the sights and sounds to those in our audience here on the ISC Sports Network. I want to thank the good folks at Opti Park. They brought us our pregame show. Looking for a place to hold your next event or get together? Come to Opti Park. Located in the heart of Broad Ripple, Opti Park is a home to baseball, birthday parties, family reunions, and playground fun. Opti Park is a community park, not a city park, and run by volunteers for over 60 years. Check out their calendar of events at OptiParkIndy.com and contact them to make a reservation or make a donation to help keep the park open to everyone. OptiParkIndy.com, provided by the Optimist Club of the north side of Indianapolis, proud sponsor of the Indy Thunder.
It looks like, Greg, I'm not sure, but it looks like the Thunder won the toss. I'm not for sure, and it looks like Chicago is warming up as far as being the road team.
Well, that would, you obviously would want that to be the case. You want to have the last at bat whenever possible. We'll see Jared Woodard in terms of the pitching and defensive coordinator for the Thunder. We will see him pitching in the bottom of the inning. But let's talk about defensively how alignments work for this sport. And you've got the help of spotters in the outfield as well.
Yeah, the spotters are the defender's eyes. So when the ball comes off the bat, there's 2 spotters, one on each side of the field. And the spotter calls a particular zone to cue the defense where the ball is. They can call one number, and then it's up to the defense to work together. There's a front line, a middle line, and a back line. And so once that spotter calls a particular zone, they work together, and then that's how they get. Communication is key once the spotter calls the zone.
Ball has to travel 40 feet or it is a foul ball. Any ball that travels in the air over 170 feet, and that is the line that you see in the outfield, that is a home run. That is worth 2 runs.
Correct. And that's amazing. We saw this last year. We saw a home run hit last year on the broadcast. And I can tell you, it got super excited and so amazing that the ball, that 1-pound ball, travels that far off the bat.
Richie Schultz will lead things off for the Comets. Pitching is Chad Perry for Chicago.
And Richie's a lefty.
And so you hear the ball beeping. This one absolutely tattooed. Foul ball is called. And again, we will show you the split screen look so you have an idea in terms of exactly how the runner is doing in terms of nearing the base, but also just how the fielders are doing in terms of tracking down the ball.
Richie is a wily veteran, a very, very good player for the Comets, and he's one of their leaders.
Well, forgive me for asking a question. I'll do this several times during the course of the broadcast. Foul ball rule, kind of same as baseball, where you can't be out on a foul ball. You have to be a swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss, total swing and a miss.
So no passes yet, and 1 strike. And again, that secondary noise you heard was kind of testing of the bases.
Correct.
Before the pitch. Foul ball.
Nowhere. So again, now he's an 0-2 count. And like I said, in this tournament, we're doing 3 strikes. So they usually go for it, or they may take a pass.
And we have again mic'd up our umpire so you can hear the immediate call of foul ball, so players know not to react. Swing and a miss. So first out, Richie Schultz, a strikeout victim. Again, 3 outs. Standard rules of baseball or softball apply here. And there's one away. Let's take a look at the Comets lineup. Again, it's a 6-player batting lineup for this team from Chicago. Dustin Youngren, player that is due up next.
Dustin is a young, rising player. Very good. He got Rookie of the Year in the NBBA as a rookie. He got that hardware, Rookie of the Year of the National Beep Baseball Association.
Swing and a miss. Again, you'll have players of different levels of visual impairment, but you'll see blindfolds to ensure that everybody is dealing with complete visual impairment, both in terms of swinging as well as terms of those in the field. So it's a level playing field for everybody involved.
Exactly right. And like I said, here comes the 0-2 pitch coming up here.
Foul ball. And again, tell us about our umpire today. Again, he is the lead umpire for all of the NBBA.
Yeah, Jason Price, he's the head umpire over all the umpires of the National Beep Baseball Association, and he comes back through a generation of his father and him. His son is here doing a game.
Foul ball is called.
Oh, you got on that one. You got to catch your breath. You're running out of the box, so Chad, who's also a high-quality pitcher, a great pitcher, been pitching for a long, long time for the Comets. He's very experienced, very composed. I'm not sure if he's going to tell his batter to take a pass. He may just go for it. So yeah, that's that competitive juice. So, but like I said, Chad is a very, very, very good pitcher. And saying it's up to the umpire if they're asking for a base check sometimes just to make sure that they know where they are. And it's up to the umpire's discretion if they want to give it to them. I know they give it to them when they first come up to bat.
Batter's out.
Well, swing and a miss. Batter is out. 2 away. So 2 down. Bill Landrum is the player that is due up.
Billy Landrum is very good. He's also a lefty, and Billy Landrum played some baseball before he lost most of all of his vision. He did play some organized team baseball.
Thank you.
Doing a bases check.
And he has a beautiful swing.
So again, 2 down. Ball in fair territory. Out! And out is called. So 3 up and 3 down for the Comets in the top half of the first inning. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, the Indy Thunder come to bat as you're watching the Beep Ball Bonanza of North Central High School here on the ISC Sports Network.
I'm Danny Wayne Beamer, Program Manager of the Elder Blind Program at the Will Center in Terre Haute, Indiana. I introduced the NFB Newsline to seniors in 13 southwestern counties in Indiana. I also utilize the NFB Newsline for my radio station public affairs shows. The NFB Newsline. Experience it today.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. Bottom half of the first, the Indy Thunder coming to bat for the first time today. Today's game presented by Kane and Abel Orientation Mobility Services. Take a person's arm and they will lead you around the block. Give a person a cane and it will lead you around the world.
All right, we're set in the field. Faces, please. Thank you.
For the Chicago Comets in the field for the first time today. Indy Thunder at the plate. Chris Dunleavy to lead things off. Tell us about Chris.
Chris he's played a couple of baseball. He's been playing baseball for a few years. He came over from a deeper. He came from a couple other teams. He's just this is his first year with our team, and he comes over with a little bit of experience, but he has a really, really good bat.
Wind's playing a little havoc with the setup behind home plate. Canopy went flying.
It's starting to be a windy day here now. Yeah, being windy, I tell you, it's just great day, but a little wind, and make sure everything is good.
Can I have the bases, please?
And we'll do a base check.
Thank you. Thank you. Play. Strike.
A strike called. 0-1 the counter. 1 strike and no passes so far.
Been doing a lot of these guys have been doing a lot of batting and during the offseason in the cage, so Jared is used to all these batters.
Strike.
Strike 2 called. Tell us about Jared, the pitcher, and such a key part of your organization.
Jared is, like I said, he's been with us since 2016. Very, I can tell you, Jared is very knowledgeable of the game. Of course, his father is totally blind, so he pitches a lot to his father, and he's grown up around beat baseball ever since he came out of the womb. So it's pretty. Jared has a really, really good feel for the game of beat baseball. And Jared is also he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. He just was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2018. As being in the Hall of Fame, so Jared just real mild and humble about it. He just enjoys the competition and just pitching and being a part of this sport.
Safe!
Runner is safe on the contact, so first run of the game belongs to the Indy Thunder.
Again, that comes with a lot of repetition, all the practice time that Thunder puts in during the off season. At the batting cages, and then once we get outside, that as well. So like I said, Jared knows his batters. Jared knows where they're at, and the catcher being the key, being a good place to show him that target. And so Jared's been laser focused he's always been laser focused. So that was a good start for the Thunder.
All right, we're set in the field. Faces, please.
Ikramullah Muhammad.
Thank you.
Ikram, as he is called by his teammates, is due up second.
Ikram was a very, very improved beep ball player.
Out. Good play by the Comets defensively. And there's one away.
Just some speed on that. Ikram hit it good. Just needed a little more speed to get down that base path. And like I said, it's 100 feet from home plate. And good contact when he hit it. Just got to get there a little bit quicker. Just need a little more speed.
This is Kevin Smith spotting the lineup due next. Tell us about Kevin.
Kevin also is new to our team this year, so we got a couple of new guys. Kevin, in the Edge tournament, Kevin made the All-Stars, batted .571 for the series for the weekend, and once he gets a hold of one, he can get a hold of one.
Save!
And save.
Yeah. As I was talking about, good contact with. And Kevin just works hard. He puts in a lot of work, and as you can tell there, like I said, Jared knowing his batters, and Kevin he's like I said, he's a pretty good hitter once he gets a hold of it, and like I said, he's a good addition. We have some really good additions to our team this year.
So Toby Gregory is due up next.
And Toby played with our team in 2016. He was a part of the World Championship. Then he went another couple of places and then came back full circle with our team. But Toby has championship experience with our team. He was a part of our first championship, and it was very key in that first championship World Series effort out there in Ames, Iowa. But Toby played a really, really good part in that. So Toby knows about winning. Toby knows about how to play in big games.
Wait. Now.
Toby works really, really hard on both sides of the ball, both offensively and defensively. He's just, like I said, pretty steady.
Strike.
So strike two. 2 strikes. No passes taken just yet. This is actually Ed Brown spotting the lineup. Ed with good contact. Running towards the third base bag.
Out.
And out is the call. So there was a bit of a late lineup change. We'll make sure we get it right the next time through. But Ed Brown batting in the 4th spot is out number 2 for the inning.
Yeah, Ed Brown's been steady for his whole career with the Thunder. He's been a part of all those championships. So it's really steady player. Works hard. Gets at every practice he can get to.
Well, that is the end of the inning for the Indy Thunder. So with that, they scored twice. We'll come back and we'll straighten things up a little bit when we get to inning number 2. Thunder have a 2-run lead after 1 as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to continue their employment. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired. Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to cook meals safely. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired.
Still on his feet. Stevens lunges. Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County. Unbelievable. Touchdown.
Living up to that last name.
Wabash has the lead for the first time today.
So that was going to be a highlight reel.
Oh, baby. Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
We're set in the field.
So we're back and ready for the top of the second here. Chicago Comets went 3 up, 3 down in the top half of the first inning.
Play.
And the Thunder had a couple of runs in the bottom half of the first, so 2-0. Chad Perry, the pitcher for the Comets.
Who do we have up here?
First
Greg?
pitch, swing and miss. Giovanni Francesi at the plate.
Another good veteran for the Comets. Pretty steady. Just has a lot of experience as a ball player. Good offensive numbers in his career.
Good solid contact. Down the third base line. And safe.
Hey!
Great diving effort to make the play by the fielders for the Thunder, but the Comets on the board.
Again, like I was saying, Giovanni has good offensive numbers, very good contact, and Chad put it right there on the bat for him, and it was just good effort by the Thunder defensively, but Giovanni hustled down there and made the run.
Let's talk fielding. What sort of fielding drills do you do when you work with the players?
We're working on laying out, just focusing, moving your feet, shuffling, laying out so you can extend yourself and make yourself pretty long and wide, because we always say chest to ball and beat ball, especially with the Thunder defense, because when you lead with your chest, the ball hits you here in your chest or in your midsection, and instead a lot of the players try to lead with their feet, and then you usually kick the ball away. When you do chest to ball, the ball will hit you right there in the chest or right there in the stomach, so we work on those type of drills.
Alex Gamino at the plate. Again, great contact. Again, you see the split screen. Ball lined up and safe. Bang, bang play. We might test out that replay system for the first time today.
We'll see what the umpire wants to do, because that a bang, bang play.
That was Chris Dunleavy that was in the field defensively that made the play, and we'll watch it right here.
Did he have it up before the?
Again, almost simultaneous. We'll roll it back. Take another look at it here.
Ball has to be up off the ground before he hits the base for it to be an out. And that one, just.
I'm not sure you can change that, to be honest. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, I don't know if Jason's taking a look at that or not. He might be, or I don't. Oh, he's coming to look at the call. Okay, see what the technology may see what it says here.
And we have the great job by our ISC Sports Network crew. Thanks to Jordan Shue, Wes Wolf, along with Alan Hughes in the truck. Runner's going to be safe. You hear Jason kind of breaking down the call, saying again.
Awesome.
Great that we have this technology that we can share with the players.
That's just really good, and like I said, they just wanted. That's their prime example. They wanted to make sure they got it right, and they did.
So 2-2.
That is the first. So.
And I know that we had a chance to talk to players from the Thunder saying, hey, you're going to play in the first game with instant replay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what you heard just Chad Perry asking that the pitcher. Juan Hernandez, another player due up. Number 6 hitter for the Comets. So back-to-back runs for Chicago here in the top of the second. First strike.
Yeah, everybody's settling in to be a good ball game. Let's hope we have a good ball game today.
And Indy lost their opener to the Atlanta Chaos, then came back to beat the Gateway Archers in the second game. The Chicago Comets then beat the Atlanta Chaos in the game that was before this one. There are 4 games taking place simultaneously here at North Central. Swing and a miss. Count now 2 strikes, no passes.
We'll see if they go for it or take a pass here.
So far, teams have not been taking their passes. They've just been swinging away. Same here. So the batter's out. That is the 3rd strikeout of the 6 batters to the plate.
Top of the order is coming up, and like I said, Richie is a left-handed batter and has a lot of pop when he gets a hold of it. We'll see what he does, but we'll see what the Thunder does as far as defensively. And, when the batter comes up, Jared, being the defensive coordinator, may tell his spotters to move them back a couple in or a couple out or a couple. They just might watch the right field right if the batter pulls it.
From the Comets' perspective, their contact's been real solid so far, Darnell.
And that's why Chad is one of those premier pitchers and been a great pitcher for so long in this league. they will put the ball in play.
Foul ball.
Right there. Like I said.
Same as his first swing, the first plate appearance. Absolutely tattooed it,
Yeah,
but pulled it foul.
Pulled it foul, like I said. And Richie, I'm telling you, he's about 90% of the time he'll pull it down that right field line if he's a lefty. But like I said, he very carefully got to watch him. He may spray it to the opposite, so he might go oppo on you. But Richie, like I said, he's consistent.
What sort of routine do you want your batters going through before they get to home plate?
Just what routine, basically, get set up, line yourself up with the plate, make sure you're facing the pitcher because, just like normal baseball, you want to be looking at the pitcher, and you want to make sure you're lined up right, straight, right at the pitcher. And that type of routine, get your breath, work on your hands, make sure they're back and everything like that. It's a lot of baseball technical stuff you use like in regular baseball.
Again, contact up the middle. Fielders, can they get it? Not in time, no, safe. Comets in front, 3-2.
Richie went up the middle that time, so he didn't necessarily pull, he went up the middle. So like I said, that there's that 10% chance that he may go oppo on him, and he went a little bit oppo, not just straight pulling down the right field line. And again, good contact by the Comets, and we know the Thunder's going to have to. The Comets are going to put it in play, and the Thunder's going to have to really step up their game defensively.
We saw the 170-foot line again. If the ball rolls past it, that is still in play, and you can go get it.
Right,
correct?
You can go get it. Correct. If it rolls before the 170-foot line, you can go get it. But if it lands on there or above it, it's 2 runs.
Thank you.
Dustin Youngren struck out first time up. Foul tip.
He's right there on it. They're in good sync right now. Chad and his batters, that timing is down where you talk, because they don't necessarily at the plate think about the beat.
Solid contact down the left field line, foul ball.
But they're thinking about that timing. When you're batting, it's about the timing. When the field is focusing on honing in on that and tracking that ball. So they're all at the plate, even though the ball is beeping. They're working on a consistent timing that all the pitchers would do with their batters. Repetition, repetition, repetition.
Just how much time are you and your batters spending in the cage during the course of the season or off season?
Off season, the Thunder's in there once or twice a week. We got some really nice in-kind donations from the Bat Cave and from Go West Sports. So we have the Go West Sports on Sunday and the Bat Cave on Tuesday. They just came on board this year for in-kind donation sponsorship, and we appreciate them giving us the time to let them use our facility, let us use their facilities.
So 2 strikes. And the louder sound is first base, the kind of more distant sound third base you're hearing. Swing and a miss.
Here we go now.
So 2 strikes.
And like I said, I think they very rarely take a pass here.
Batter's out.
Swing and a miss.
And like I said, some teams do take a pass. Like Jared may tell our batter, listen to it. But a lot of teams, because it may be that pitch that the pitcher pitches, that it may have been a good one. Because being consistent is key, but also just going forward. And some pitchers are making sure the batter can just take a pitch and just listen to it, go across. That way they can. That's a part of being timing wise. A lot of the pitchers will say, hey, we're just going to go for it and swing it all 3. And right now the rules are right. There's 4 strikes, but in this tournament there's 3. So a lot of the pitchers and the batters, they just go for a lot of it. Ourselves, we just sometimes, Jared may tell our batter just to listen to it.
Saw some of the stats of Bill Lander. That was from the World Series a year ago.
Right.
And Darnell does a great job of compiling stats from all of the teams that are a part of this event in case they make our television cameras here on the ISC Sports Network.
Yeah, Bill Landrum, like I said, he's steady. Bill Landrum has hit a home run in his career in beat baseball against the Thunder several years ago. So he's capable.
Swing and a miss. Bill was the only out recorded in the field so far for the Indy Thunder. The other 4 putouts here into the top of the second have been all of the strikeout variety for the Chicago Comets. And a swing and a miss. That is strike 3. That is out number 3. But it's 3 runs in the top of the second for the Comets, and they take a 3-2 lead in the bottom half of the inning as you're watching the Beep Ball Bonanza on the ISC Sports Network.
If you or someone you know is visually impaired or print challenged, the National Federation of the Blind has a resource you need.
I am a CFP practitioner, and I happen to be blind. I rely on NFB Newsline to keep me current with Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times.
Hoosiers can hear Indiana magazines, circulars, national magazines, and information from across the globe. Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
When a visit to the eye doctor ends in a diagnosis of blindness or visual impairment, Bosma Enterprises is there, providing low and high-tech tools that let adult Hoosiers keep living at home, and training that teaches people with vision loss how to cook meals, travel around their homes and towns, and continue their employment. Because the need for independence never fades, even when the sense of sight does. Bosma Enterprises. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org.
Again, an absolutely gorgeous day thanks to Andy Elkins, the good folks at North Central, for their hospitality as always. We're here for a couple of events every summer. This event, and then 6 weeks from now, the IFCA Mirage Shrine Game North-South All-Star Contest for football. Back here for that on July 15th. This is the first of 2 days of coverage here on the ISC Sports Network of the Beep Ball Bonanza. We'll be here for the championship game tomorrow at 8 a.m. So 6-1-2 due up this time for the Indy Thunder.
6-1-2.
This is Adam Roden back at the plate. Swing and a miss. Tell us about Adam.
Adam is a really good athlete. Adam keeps himself in pretty good shape. Adam has some speed as well. So Adam runs as good of a base as anybody on the Thunder. I mean, he can run straight to it, and it'll be amazing. We might have to have that instant replay again because Adam can get down that line pretty good when he gets a hold of it. He's had a good offseason in the cage as well.
We're waiting for the small aircraft that is flying towards the northwest to clear to make sure everybody can hear properly.
Yeah, and that's a sport in our sport here, Greg, like the airplane, because the defense wants to make sure they can hear the ball coming out, and that's very rare. They just ask for time, and then once the airplane clears, it's back to playing. Quick
contact made, sprayed towards right field, in the field of play, and got it, safe. And again, that base takes a beating every time.
Oh yeah, and as I told you, Adam has had a good offseason in the cage, and as I told you, he runs as good a base as anybody on our team, and like I said, Adam's real consistent. He knows where that base is, because sometimes they call it a banana if you kind of work yourself wide and try to get back into the base, but Adam just really hones in on that base right where it is, because like in regular baseball, you can have some bad base running, they can go by and miss the base and come back for it, but Adam's pretty much dead on when he gets contact and runs to the base.
Chris Dunleavy at the plate. He scored a run his first time up. This marks the second trip to the lineup here for the Thunder. It is 3-3 here in the bottom half of the second. Darnell, what is an average score at this level of beat ball?
Average score just depends on also, Greg, how the grass is cut, because if you have real short grass, the ball's going to get out there quicker. If you have like kind of thick grass or whatever, it's good for the defense. So just it kind of depends on how the grass is cut. And like this is a good baseball field, so if you got two good defenses out there, you may have a 7-8-7 game, 9-7 game, but this again with the 3 strikes, if you would have the 4 strike, it could go like a 12-11, 13-12 game. But But this game right here, I can see it being 9-8, 7-6, almost like traditional baseball in a sense, you know.
Like we said, the base sometimes needs a little bit of reconstruction is what you saw there. Swing and a miss, first strike. Took his pass.
And like I said, Jared told him to take a listen to it. Now he's ready, and so now he has two chances at it, and hopefully we can get it down. So
two strikes.
And this is a full count right here.
Pitcher pitching from 20 feet away, correct?
Correct. 20 feet from home plate.
Swing and a miss. How much talking to the pitcher and hitter do kind of before the game as to, hey, this is where I want the ball?
Well, they do a little bit. Usually the catcher and the pitcher get together as far as a little target practice, and they know, like Jared knows where his batters is, and he'll kind of point toward the catcher to bring it down or bring it up. He doesn't say anything to the batter per se, but he'll position the batter to say, okay, off, right, left foot off, right foot off, that type of thing. But he's really in communication with his catcher, showing him where he wants that target at.
Ikramola Muhammad. It was the first out of the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Ikram hit it good, just need a little more speed to the base, so he had good contact on that. Ikram's been hitting the ball really well in the early part of this season.
I think he did not have many at-bats in the World Series last year. Part of that is because of some of the player turnover on this Indy Thunder team from a season ago. Good contact made here. Lifts this one, running towards the third base bag, and out. Just before he got to the bag.
So close.
Two down.
Again, good contact, just got to get down that baseline a little bit quicker. But again, Ikram on our team last year, even though he was coming off the bench, but he was most improved on our team. When we had our team awards, he was most improved. And now he's taking the starter role, and he's really, he's had a good offseason in the cage. And, you know, he barely missed the All-Star team in the tournament we had a few weeks ago.
Here's Kevin Smith.
Again, Kevin is steady. He works hard, and he, like I say, if he gets a hold of one, it could go far. And you might see him point at Jared to make sure he's lined up carefully with him with the bat, because they've done that a couple of times, and Jared will say, I'm right here. And
Bashes this one. Foul ball.
Oh. Sounded real good coming off the bat, but foul.
But Kevin, a run scored last time up. He is the fourth batter to the plate this inning for the Indy Thunder. By the way, Rebecca Lewis is the player that is doing a little assistance in terms of getting players back to the plate.
Yeah, and we have a lot of volunteers. Rebecca's a player, but she's volunteering as well. And that's what happens, like when they get down that baseline, the batter has to keep his blindfold on, can't take it off until actually the whole play is over with, so they assist them back to home plate. Sometimes your catcher does it, or, you know, but they just got to keep their shade on.
And Jerry Wendell is the catcher today for the Indy Thunder. Hear the cheers from the next field over. Swing and a miss. Two strikes.
All right, here we go. We practice these in practice with situational hitting. We'll say, okay, we have a pass. You have a full count, a pass ball, 2 strikes, or a pass ball, 3 strikes. So we do a lot of situational stuff.
Here's the intentional pass.
Chicago has their little things, comments, which is kind of fun in nature.
The pass has been used. It must swing here. And the batter's out. So after a leadoff run by Rodenbeck, 3 successive outs for the Thunder. And we are through 2 in this final game of pool play. We are tied at 3. Today's game on the ISC Sports Network, presented in part by Bright Ideas. Your logo on everything under the sun. They are located not far from here, 7425 Westfield Boulevard. And they've been a part of this community now for nearly 40 years, since 1983. All right, we have mentioned some of the teams that are playing in the tournament: the Indy Thunder, the Indy Edge, the Chicago Comets, the Atlanta Chaos, the Gateway Archers. Who else is joining us here in the tournament this year?
We got the Cleveland Scrappers, we got the New Jersey Titans, and the Austin Blackhawks. And last year's game, Austin and Indy played for the championship last year. So what we usually do, and then we put the 2 top teams in our tournament. They usually split up, and then we draw the other 6, a blind draw. And that's how it came out. So, so we got the team from Texas, Austin, and the team from New Jersey amongst the other 6 teams that are here this weekend.
Last year, I believe we had the Thunder versus the Titans and the Thunder versus Austin for the 2 games we had a year ago.
Correct. And New Jersey is going through a transitional type team this year as well, so they're not the same team as they were last year, just going through a transition period. Austin's pretty steady, and so like I said, a lot of good beep ball this weekend, and the same 8 teams that are here. Like I said, we'll see what shakes out this afternoon in the end of pool play.
I'll look at our broadcast position, and again, because hearing is so sensitive and so vital to this competition, we are situated about 250 feet away from home plate. There's a building between us and the action, so we can comment freely and not serve as a distraction to anybody that is hitting.
Right. We always say in beep ball, applause is necessary, but silence is golden.
Giovanni Francesi. Foul ball. So frankly, you almost have to train fans to hold their applause or their reaction until
after
play is over, correct?
Correct. It's almost like tennis in a sense. You know, you don't hear a lot of yelling and screaming while the tennis is going on. They wait till after the rally is over. For instance, this one you just wait till after the play is over.
Unless it's Davis Cup or the U.S. Open, they just screamed in the entire time.
Okay.
But your point is well made, my friend. That's a great analogy to use.
Right.
So first strike, Giovanni, a run scored his last time up.
And Giovanni has in beep ball, you got to have a consistent bat swing that helps the pitcher. It's very good that you swing consistently every single time.
Batter's out, swing and a miss. So a strikeout. First time he has been recorded as an out. There's one away. Here's Alex Gamino, who scored his last time up.
Alex got a nice little pop in his bat, and I think that was the play, if I'm not mistaken, they went to the replay on that. That may have been a bang-bang play. So, again, Alex got a lot of speed, and he's got a lot of pop.
You can always tell his friends he was part of the first replay in beep ball history.
That would be a great trivia question. That'll be correct, yeah.
Swing and a miss for Alex.
Alex Gamino.
Strike 2. How many tournaments will your team play during the course of the season?
We will play 4 tournaments and then the World Series. So we will play about 16 games before we actually hit the World Series. And that'll tell a lot about our team heading into the World Series, where we are.
Swing and a miss for Alex.
And all these teams here will play 2 to 3 tournaments before they get to the World Series. And like in college baseball or what have you, you have to qualify. In beep baseball, it's about fundraising, getting the dollars to get to the World Series of beep baseball, which this year will be held in Beaumont, Texas.
Juan Gonzalez to plate.
And the Thunder has to be on their toes, because we know that the Comets will put it in play almost every single time, at least 80 to 90% of the time. The Thunder has to be on their toes defensively here.
Swing and a miss. However, They have 7 strikeouts so far today to the Comets.
Yeah.
This is atypical for them, correct?
This is not, well, because again, we're doing that data to 3 strikes, and because and it's been tough for a lot of pitchers today. But like I said, I'm sure we'll get it together. Still a nice, clean, fast-paced game, but you don't want to have a lot of strikeouts. But yet, but they will put the ball in play the majority of the time, and you can get refocused. Chad just has to get refocused, like Jared will have to get refocused.
So a swing and a miss, 3 successive strikeouts. In fact, the last 5 batters for the Comets have all struck out. So we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, still tied at 3. Today's game presented in part by Kane and Abel Orientation Mobility Services. Take a person's arm and they will lead you around the block. Give a person a cane and it will lead you around the world. We talked about the ability to play in the World Series. A lot of that is in large part due to how you can fundraise.
Correct.
You have put together quite the organization here with the Indy Thunder, and you're seeing various sponsors as part of this broadcast. Who are some of the folks that you want to thank that make the Indy Thunder possible every year?
I want to thank like the Lions clubs of 25F, the Indianapolis Indians Charitable Foundation back here, and then we see the company that I do some business with, Bright Ideas. They've been supportive since 2011. All these teams have been over a decade, and then the shop in Broad Ripple, who does our, every time we've won the World Series, they've done our championship shirts. So we love the shop in Broad Ripple. So Broad Ripple has been a very, very supportive community for Indy Thunder Beat Baseball, as of businesses and like I said, the Bat Cave and Go West Sports, as far as donating like an in-kind donation, not necessarily financial donations, but we accept financial and in-kind, and that's what makes our team go with the indoor batting practices in the winter, in the heart of winter.
So for the Indy Thunder, 4, 5, and 6 due up this time through. So this is Toby Gregory's spot in the lineup.
Let's see if Jared can get this good inning started with some contact, and because sometimes Jared will have one of those innings that see if we can get some runs here and see if they can produce some runs and kind of get a little bit of separation. But with the Thunder's situation, we'll see what happens here.
Toby recorded as an out last time up. This ball, he's safe. So again, let's talk about this, because again, just like baseball or softball, in terms of once you pass a base path, a base bag, so to speak, if the ball turns into foul territory, if it hit in fair territory, that is a fair ball.
Right.
That rule still holds true in beat ball as well?
As well. Just, if it's fair past the base and goes foul, it's fair.
Okay.
But before it gets to the base, if it goes foul, it's a foul ball. If it goes past the base and it goes into foul territory, it is a fair ball.
So run number 4. Here's Ed Brown.
Ed's got some good pop. Just got to see if we can get him down that line.
Contact made. Ed hustling down the line, and got it. Ed Brown.
Good play. And again, like I talked about right at the beginning of this inning, this half inning, Jared could get on a roll with his batters and just kind of get some separation here, because when Jared gets in rhythm, they're hard to stop. I mean, we'll see if this continues, but Chicago's going to make that adjustment, and JT's going to tell his guys to hang in there, make a play here, make a play here, make a play there. But Jared's going to get on one of those rolls, but also the Comets, they're well coached, so we'll see what wins out.
Good balance from your team so far, Darnell. You've had 5 different players score your 5 runs so far.
Yeah, that's really good.
So this is Adam Rodenbeck. He scored last time up.
Yeah. And Adam can turn this order here. We'll see what happens here.
Contact made towards the right side. Adam hustling down the line, and safe.
There again, Adam, sometimes you play when you do your lineup, you kind of makes you kind of see what the matchups are. And if Adam can flip that lineup back to the top, where I think right now we don't have any outs, I'm not sure if we do or not. That plays a factor in how you have your lineup. And the coaches, we always told our team, we're going to put you guys in the best position to win. And so, just looking at your lineup, okay, Adam can flip that lineup because he has a little bit of speed at the bottom of that lineup. And as you can see right now, Adam did turn the lineup without any outs.
Chris Dunleavy at the plate. A strikeout and a run scored today. This marks the third trip to the lineup here for the Thunder. Thunder, the home team, they won the coin flip. Foul ball, and again, that's really the first example we have had of a ball in fair territory, but not past the 40-foot line.
Right. You might have some high pop-ups, and it'll just land right there where the pitcher circle is, pretty much. I call it the pitcher circle before it gets to the 40-foot arc.
Is that a derivative from fast pitch softball? Swing and a miss. It's all right. So all the pitches that Chris has missed have been outside and to some degree kind of low. Again, that's batter's preference. He wants to extend the hands there, right?
The pitcher comes to the batter. So basically, I'm not sure, maybe a little target issue or whatever. I think he took his pass there. But, the target, because maybe Jared will let the Jerry know that, okay, move it this way. He doesn't tell Chris that. He may move it this,
Contact made. And that hit the pitcher.
So if it hits the pitcher, it's a no pitch, and the count stays the same.
Dead
so
ball.
Jared has to get out of the way. Which
in 20 feet, even with the size of the ball, is exceedingly difficult.
Yeah, but Jared has pretty good read. That ball must have jumped off that bat pretty quick to hit him. So because Jared's pretty flexible.
And you see, Jared is not wearing protective gear. The game before this, when the Thunder played, the pitcher for the Archers was wearing kind of a catcher's helmet, basically.
Right, exactly. So it just depends on your preference. I mean, I'm usually the backup
out,
pitcher.
Swing and a miss, one out.
Yep.
Let's go back to the last pitch here, Darnell, and again, off one hop and trying to get out of the way and
just couldn't. Just couldn't dance fast enough to get out of the way. Well, he tried, but the ball, like I said, jumped off the bat. And sometimes it happens as a pitcher because, like I said, me being a backup pitcher, I've experienced that before as well. Just couldn't get out of the way fast enough in time. And then, again, back to some pitchers just doesn't have any fear of pitching. They don't need any protective gear. They know they can get out of the way. The reflexes, some prefer they wear a mask. Some even wear shin guards.
Ikramullah Muhammad. He's 0 for 2. Contact made both times, but outs trying to run the bases. This one lifted. Foul ball is the call. And again, my partner explained it perfectly a couple of batters ago. Ball landed in fair territory, but went foul just as it got to first base.
Right.
Foul ball.
Foul ball. Foul ball. Anything fair, anything past it, and it goes foul, it's fair. So, again, Ikram's he's gonna have to settle down, settle in there, because he and Jared hit very well together. So it's like, they'll get it together. Ikram's just got to take a deep breath, take his time, swing consistently, and Jared will find him.
And again, not to give those that have some level of sight, functional sight, usable sight, as Darnell said, the blinders stay on the entire at-bat.
The entire at-bat. Like me, if I'm catching, I would say bat out, and I just put the bat in the batter's hand and just walk him back to the plate and set him up.
Good contact made. Can a fielder grab this in time? Has it lined up and safe.
Oh, way to get down that line by Ikram. Ikram's on the board. He scores a run for the Thunder. Again, good, solid contact. Again, like I said, Ikram just needs to relax, keep the swing up, and like I said, what they've practiced in indoor and outdoor here. And again, you see Ikram in the results. He scores a run for the Thunder.
So his first run. Now all 6 batters have scored at least once. So far, Adam Rodenbeck is the lead producer of runs with 2.
And that's a good sign for the Thunder. I mean, when you have a balance like that with the lineup that we have, and Jared knows how to work the batters, and it's like Jared can't run for them, but he can just put it on their bat, and they just need to do the rest.
Here's Kevin Smith. So the Thunder will bat around, the first team to do so day, at least, in other words, to get to a 7th batter. Unless this ball is caught in the air, which would be the automatic end of the inning. Ball up the middle. Pitcher gets out of the way. Hustling down the line. Save.
Oh, wow. And that was a play there that with Chicago would usually, something to make. They got to make those plays to get off the field. And Kevin, with great hustle, got down that baseline and scored that run. But usually that's a play that anything on the ground, and if you have good defenders, they're going to scoop that up and get an out. But with Kevin's hustle, credit Kevin's hustle down that baseline. Again, like I told you earlier when this inning started, Jared can get on a roll and he's, as you can tell, they have batted around. The Thunder's batted around, getting some separation. We'll see where that momentum carries them through the rest of this game.
Toby Gregory at the plate. Only Chris Dunleavy has been a player that's recorded as an out so far this inning. Again, we are testing the bases. Foul ball.
Again, it's all about the timing. When the batter and the pitcher are together, they're not really focused on that beat. They're focused on Jared's cadence.
Swing and a miss. Counted 0-2. Now we've been seeing basically Jared tell the batter, "Hey, take a pass here." Does he do that again here with Toby?
It just depends on how the game is and what Jared thinks he should do.
He was swinging.
That's
contact
good.
Made towards right field. Fielder has it lined up and has it. Well done by Chicago. Second out of the inning.
Again, Toby made contact. He said he might tell Jared. Jared said, "You want to take this?" He might say, "I'm going to go for it." And Jared said, "Okay, that's fine." So, but in some instances, Jared may say, "Take this," but Toby was swinging away, and he put the ball in play. Just Chicago made a good defensive play.
Well, you talked about it earlier when I asked you, all right, tell me, walk me through some fielding. You said, "Hey, get your chest behind the ball."
Right,
that will stop it.
And
exactly what you saw from the Comets.
And Chicago is very fundamentally sound on defense. JT does a lot of those drills with the Comets. Okay, getting your body in front of the ball, talking, communicating, by me left, by me right, under you, and they had that lined up.
Ed Brown up for the second time this inning. 8th batter to the plate for the Thunder. 5 runs have scored here in the home half of the third. Swing and a miss. Henry had the last out of the first inning for the Comets. Foul ball, counted 0-2.
That cadence right here. He may have Ed take one, or he may be swinging away. Right, he's
Foul ball.
hanging in, and they got the timing down perfectly. They're in sync. So Jared, that timing, the cadence is in sync. Ed knows right where that cadence, when to swing the ball, and Ed is staying consistent.
Ground ball.
See how Chicago plays this?
Again, they've got it lined up. Can they grab it? Yes.
Again.
Batter's out. That takes a tumbling, and you see that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys hustling down the line, but it is out number 3. However, 8 batters to the plate, 5 score for the Thunder, and they lead at 8-3 after 3. As you're watching the Beep Ball Bonanza from North Central High School right here on the ISC Sports Network. Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds remaining.
Fake players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it. That's the finish.
You get a layup to take it. And an and one.
I am a blind vendor, and one of the things that I truly miss is reading Vending Times magazine.
Hoosiers can hear Indiana magazines, circulars, national magazines, and information from across the globe. Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
It is a fantastic service.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline today.
Had a chance to thank the fellas in the truck. I'll make sure we get our camera guys mentioned as well. Rob Lynch, Eldon Wheeler, Aaron Siders, and Vincent Morales on a day full of sunshine. Temperatures in the 80s. You cannot ask for a better day here in early June than we have for this Beep Ball Bonanza. Most substantial lead of the day belongs to the Indy Thunder, the 5-time Beep Ball World Series champions. Look at the Chicago Comets by a score of 8-3. Alongside Darnell Booker, Greg Rakestraw is my name. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll do it again tomorrow. Championship game from this pool, which could be the Thunder, could be someone else.
And we're going to see if it carries over, if that good off inning can lead to some good defensive inning for the Thunder. And we're going to see how Chicago responds to what has happened.
Solid contact made. Ball driven towards center field. Fielders don't have a chance to line this one up. This should be a run, and it will be.
Again, Chicago is responding very well. We'll see if the Thunder's defense can shut it down, and but again, we'll see how Chicago's responded, and they're getting off to a good start in their in the top of this inning.
So Richie Schultz, the leadoff run scored. That's his second run of the day. Next up is Dustin Youngren, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. And it has been feast or famine for the Comets so far.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Dustin's a really good player, nice player as a rookie, and he and Chad will just have to get settled in, and Dustin, he'll get it together. But again, the Thunder has to stay on their toes defensively because they know Chicago will put it in play with good, solid contact.
Swing and a miss. All right, so you mentioned a rookie. What sort of recruiting as a beep ball coach are you doing during the course of the year?
Well, it's trying to do it during the off season, but try to do recruiting all over the state of Indiana, word of mouth. Like I said, we want to get back. In any sport, Father Time catches up with each other. So Father Time is undefeated. Let me just say that.
Contact made by Younger. We'll finish that thought in a moment. Ground ball to left side. Out. That is well done. That is James Michaels that makes the play defensively, not in the batting lineup for the Thunder, one away.
Yeah, James Michaels is a defensive specialist. He's a designated fielder for the Thunder. He picks up anything on that ground, and he has good hands. But going back to recruiting, Father Time is undefeated, so we try to keep our players young. And that's even though a lot of the adults play, but a young man's game, any sport is, Father Time will catch up to you. So we do a lot of recruiting around the state of Indiana, the Indiana School for the Blind and Visually Impaired, some BOSMA people that we try to recruit, or anybody that knows anybody that wants to play beep ball that has a vision loss, or the cutoff for playing beep ball is 20/70 in your best eye.
Bill Landrum swinging and missing. Bill is 0 for 2 today, 1 out in the field, and 1 strikeout as well.
Be ready, Deep. Be ready.
And of course, for those that are unfamiliar with our location today, the Indiana School for the Blind and Visually Impaired is maybe 5 minutes from here. Ground ball up the middle and out. Well done. That's Ikram that makes the play defensively for the Thunder, and 2 down.
Again, Ikram has, like I said, has put in a lot of work. He's bided his time because he sat behind a lot of starters last year, Greg. Sat behind a lot of starters. He's a great team player, and now he knows this is his time, and he's very coachable. And that's what you need on this team as well. You got to be very coachable, and Ikram is very coachable. He's ready to step into that position as being a starter.
Here's Giovanni Francesi. Struck out last time up. Scored his first time up. We're starting to see more solid contact being made by the Comets. But they're also starting to count outs a little bit here, too. They've got 6 outs in which to make up 4 runs at this point, or 7, including the last out here at the top of the 4th.
And Giovanni can put it in play because he can really hit the ball. Like I said, he has good offensive stats.
Foul ball there.
I mean, Giovanni has made a lot of all-star tournament teams as an offensive player. Back in the day, he's really, like I said, solid offensive numbers.
Ground ball, right side. Past a fielder. Other fielder has it lined up and out. Well, all 3 outs made in the field of play here by the Indy Thunder after only having one of those in the first 3 innings. So Richie Schultz scores a leadoff run, but Indy will take a 4-run lead to the bottom half of the 4th. Well done by the Thunder in terms of their fielding play here in the top half of the 4th inning. Toby Gregory makes the play in the field for Indy. This portion of today's broadcast presented by our friends at Bright Ideas, your logo on everything under the sun. They are located literally just down the road from North Central High School, 7425 Westfield Boulevard. They've been in business since 1983.
Again, communication, lining up. Once the spotter calls that particular zone, the defense is working really well together this game for the Thunder right now, and they had it lined up. Got to Toby. Toby made a play on the ball, showing the ball, laying it up.
We're going to give you a kind of an idea as to our location. So we are just kind of behind that building to give us a sound barrier for us to be able to talk freely, because Darnell and I have voices that cut through walls.
We do.
And then you see the action from behind home plate. We thank our friends at McAllister's for providing lifts for today's broadcast to give you these fantastic views and kind of unfettered line of sight, everything that is taking place here on this field.
We'll see if the Thunder can tack on a little bit more runs, or see if Chicago can get back in it and make a defensive stand in there and on this inning. But we'll see if Jared can get some more separation, or we'll see if Chicago can buckle down defensively and make some plays, and we'll see what goes on here. So we're about to start right here.
6-1-2 coming up this time through for the Thunder. So Adam Rodenbeck will lead things off. He has scored in each of his 2 plate appearances so far today. Second time he's led off the inning. Contact made. Fielder has it lined up. And safe.
Uh-oh, well, do we have perhaps do you think that was going to the replay, or was it legitimately safe there? I couldn't tell. I thought
it was close.
By the sound of Chicago, I thought they're saying, wait, can you make sure you may check it? But I'm not sure he's going to go to the monitor. Maybe he is, maybe he's not.
Fielder had it lined up. I'm not sure he extended.
Did he have it up and away from his body?
Correct. Because you talked about Rodenbeck's speed. That was on display here. We'll take a look. Yeah, there was a bobble there. He's safe.
So you could hear the coach of the Comets. JT said he bobbled it.
Yep.
So
that's right, call.
But, yeah.
So Rodenbeck, 3 at bats, 3 runs scored. Make it 9 for the Thunder. Making sure that first base is put together properly.
And sometimes the bases come unplugged, even though it may be until it's just probably about snapping it together, just laying it down gently, and the base will turn back on. Usually, that's if they say the base is not working, the first thing you check and see if it's plugged back in, because of the like you said, the bases take a beating. Again, Adam did his job, flipped the lineup without any outs. So we're back at the top.
How long did it take you to set up this facility to make it game ready for this weekend-long tournament?
It took us about 4.5, 5 hours yesterday. We got here in the morning. We loaded all our stuff at the shed, brought it over, and Jared and a couple of the guys from the Thunder did a lot of the lining of the fields, and it took about 4 hours to line 4 fields.
Chris Dunleavy scored the first run for the Thunder. Ground ball up the middle, gets past a first fielder, off a second fielder, and safe.
Oh, I tell you, the ball is bouncing the Thunder's way this game. Really bouncing their way. So, and again, like I talked about at the beginning of this inning, can the Thunder get more separation, or can the Comets buckle down defensively? And right now we're seeing the Thunder taking the bull by the horn and extending this lead.
You think about the ball bouncing the Thunder's way. Again, 2 defenders. You kind of take a guess in terms of which way you're diving, and from the Thunder perspective, a couple of players guessed the wrong direction as to what way that ball was going to head.
You mean the Comets?
Correct.
Yeah, the Comets, yeah. Like I said, and sometimes the ball can take a funny hop, even though you may have it lined up. the ball can take a funny hop on the player, and that's just part of the nature of the game.
Ramula Muhammad.
See what Ikram does right here.
Made a nice defensive play last inning. Ground ball, left side, and out.
The Chicago line had that lined up pretty nicely, making a good play on Ikram. But again, good solid contact. In beep ball, you want to make sure you either have line drives or in the air, because by the time, if you have a line drive or they're in the air, you're halfway down the baseline once the ball hits fair. Again, if you have it on the ground, the defense has a chance to make a play on it, scoop it up. So the best thing you want to do is try to get line drives or balls in the air in beat baseball.
Here's Kevin Smith. Kevin 2 for 3 today.
Yeah, he made a good play when he hustled down the line when the ball was hit on the ground up the middle last time, and we'll see what Kevin does this time.
Again,
Sounds
skies
like
this one.
Contact.
Fielder has it lined up, grabs it, out. Well,
let's see if the base came off, because it sounded like the base came on and it cut off. So I'm not sure what we're doing.
So 2 down.
So we got 2 down here. Okay.
When you hear the conversation taking place in terms of making sure the base is still properly audible. You saw Kevin kind of let up there for a second.
So what I'm wondering is, I'm not sure if he's out.
Or they're going to let him bat again.
Or they're going to let him bat again. Was that equipment failure?
Right.
Because we'll see if Kevin comes back up to the plate, even though they may have called him out, but that base just turned off. We want to see here if he's back at the plate here. Yeah, they're going to read that he's going to come up to, because that was equipment.
And reset the count.
Reset the count, yeah. Because I think that was his first swing, so it'll be a 0-0 count.
Correct.
All right, we're back. Yeah, here we
go.
How
often does that happen in the course of the game, Darnell?
Very seldom. You just depends on, like, again, that bat takes a beating. That bag takes a beating. So we'll see if we'll see what happens off this play. Because that's what I kind of thought, that it was an equipment malfunction. Oh, good solid contact by Kevin.
And that's past the 40-foot line, just barely, and he's safe.
Whoa, nice. Again, Kevin's really hustling, and that was good solid contact. What you're saying, just past the 40-foot line, but that sounded really good off the bat. So Jared and Kevin are in good rhythm, and Kevin's swinging consistently. And like I said, that goes back to the hard work during this off season. Kevin's rarely misses any indoor practices and outdoor practices. That's, like I said, they're not even focused on the beat. They're focused on that cadence. And Kevin's consistent bat swing, and Jared knows right where he's at.
Now, if that ball hits past the 40-foot line and rolls back inside of it,
it's a foul ball.
Okay.
Because it has to, it's that called the spin on the ball.
Correct.
If it lands 40, then the umpire makes sure that ball stays there. He makes a play there.
Well, that was a 43-foot wedge that Kevin just hit.
Almost a coffin corner, as you may want to call those things.
So 3 runs were scored this inning. Dead ball gets hit the pitcher.
Again.
Second time that Jared has taken one today.
They can't call me out of the booth, so I'll just let you know. So we have an emergency backup pitcher, Jerry Wendell, so they're not going to call me out of the booth today, because usually I'm the backup pitcher, and I'm just going to stay right where I'm at.
That's the second time he has taken one today.
Yeah, he'll sleep good tonight. He's young.
There's Toby Gregory. 1 for 3. Right now, the biggest difference in this game is number of strikeouts.
Yeah.
8 for the Comets, 2 for the Thunder. Swing and a miss. Contact made. In fair territory. And safe.
Good base run. Good base run by, great run by Toby.
So after a 5-run inning, now 4 runs for the Thunder, and they have blown this one wide open. It is now 12-4.
We're getting close to that threshold where it's called the 12-run rule. It has to wait to a full, complete inning. So we're getting on the verge of that. And so if the Thunder picks up a few more runs here, the Thunder will have to, the 12-run rule will go into effect, and the Thunder will have to be in the field for 6 outs. And that means that the Chicago has 6 outs to make up to tie or pass the Thunder, but the Thunder would get all their outs back if that were to occur.
Ed Brown with the base hit and with the run scored. Ed Brown scores for the 2nd time today.
Okay, we're getting pretty close there, Will, so we'll see what we got here.
So 13-4. Ed asked, "You okay?" I'm fine.
He's hustling.
So 5 of the 6 Thunder players now have at least scored twice in this game.
That means
does that 12-run rule kick in after what number of innings?
It doesn't matter any time.
Yeah.
It could be the 1st through the 5th, any time. So it could be like if the top of the 1st, nothing happens in the bottom of the 1st, we get 12 runs, it'd be 12-0. That's when the 12-run rule will go into effect.
And then you've got 6 outs to either get
You
back.
got, well, depending on what inning it takes effect in. Like
Okay.
if it's the 1st inning, you have 15 outs to come up with. You got 5 innings with 3 outs. So, but if it happens like here in the 4th, you got, and if it happens here at the end of the 4th inning,
you have 6 outs to score 12 runs, basically.
Yeah, to catch up.
And then the game's over.
Then the Thunder would get all their outs if they tie or pass, because the Thunder would go back and bat in the 5th and the 6th.
Gotcha. But if they did not pass him, the game ends at that
after
point?
6 outs,
Gotcha.
exactly. Because the team that was in the 12-point deficit did not tie or pass them. They didn't tie or pass. So that's how that works.
Here's Rodenbeck, 2nd time up. And he is the lone player for the Thunder that has not been retired as an out today.
Let's see if Chicago can retire him, or see if Adam can keep it going.
Off the end of the bat. Fair territory. Player has it lined up, but just, again, didn't guess properly. Base hit.
Wow.
Run score.
Wow. Adam's having a great day at the plate. And like I said, either coffin corners or he's going to score. He's having a great day at the plate.
So runs in every inning for the Thunder. 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 5 in the 3rd, and now 6 in the 4th. So 14-4, and 2 runs away from 12-run rule territory here for the Thunder.
Right.
Now, Darnell, basically, once you get that 12-run lead, does your at-bat stop, or do you finish the inning?
Well, no, it keeps going until you actually get the 3 outs.
Okay.
Yeah, until you actually get the 3 outs. Yeah, they don't stop it until the end of the inning.
Chris Dunleavy at the plate. Contact made. In fair territory. Fielder has it lined up and safe. Just got to the bag before the ball was extended. It was close, but counted as another run for the Thunder. The Thunder have now sent 8 to the plate this inning and scored 7.
Having a good game here, having a real good game.
Kermola Muhammad now to the plate.
So the Comets right now, they're wanting to get out of inning. I'm not sure how many outs we have, Greg, in this inning.
1.
Okay, they need to try to focus on trying to get this out and then try to avoid that 12-run rule. So that's the goal for the Comets, to try to get out of there, try to stop the bleeding, get out of this inning. but Ikram may have other ideas.
So again, 1 out. 7 runs have scored. Now 15-4. At this point, Thunder appear to be on their way to a 2-1 record in pool play. And frankly, if it comes down to a tie, run differential is part of the tiebreaker.
Right, exactly. So, but we still need the Thunder still needs help because we got to figure out what the other score is between Atlanta and Gateway. So if Gateway were to beat Atlanta, then I think the Thunder has a good chance to be in tomorrow's championship game because the head-to-head, because Atlanta would be 1-2, Archers would be 1-2, and both Chicago and Indy 2-1, but Indy has the head-to-head tiebreak with Chicago. But we have to see if Gateway, and we have to see what's going on with Gateway and Atlanta at this point in time, a score, and we'll see where the Thunder ends up, you know.
Pass taken by Ikram, then a swing and a miss taken by Ikram, and that is the second out of the inning. That is the first time that he has been recorded as a strikeout. But unfortunately for Ikram, he is both outs in this inning so far for the Indy Thunder.
Yeah, he's all right. And Ikram, he'll bounce back. Like I said, he'll get it together and see if he can help our team on the defensive end.
And again, if there is not a run scored here, then basically this game will play out under the normal scoring rules.
Right. The Thunder needs 1 run to make it a 12-run rule, and the Comets will have 6 outs to work with.
Pinch hitter coming in here for Kevin Smith. Steve Harris is going to get in the bat here.
Steve is a lefty. Steve's been steady, and we'll see what Steve can do with this at bat here.
Kevin Smith 3 for 4 in today's game. Solid contact made. Ground ball up the middle. Fielders diving for it. And out.
We're going to extend it. That's good defensive by the Comets. They avoided the 12-run rule, so we move on to the 5th.
So to the 5th inning we go, but another prosperous inning for the home team, the Thunder, as they score 7 times. They lead it 15-4 after 4. As you're watching the Beep Ball Bonanza from North Central High School, right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And of course, we do the incredibly creatively and appropriately named Query and Schultz program every Monday on ISC Sports Network. Derek, it airs at what time?
7:30.
Okay, every Monday at 7:30. We're now on season number 2, and if history tells us anything, catch us now because you never know when they pull the plug on it.
How would you say that?
Because it's happened
That's not
before.
going to happen here. Comcast, Xfinity 81, ISCSportsNetwork.com, ISC Sports Network, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, so many places to watch Query and Schultz, 7:30 on Monday.
Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to continue their employment. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired. Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to cook meals safely. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired.
So 15-4 the score in favor of the Indy Thunder. Comets looking to make a dent in this lead. They've got 6 outs to make up this 11-run deficit. And the Thunder do have 1 more at bat coming up in the bottom half of the 5th as well. Again, clearly the faucet has been turned on for the Thunder, having scored 12 of their last 15 runs in the last 2 innings.
And it looks like the Thunder has made some substitutions, Greg. I'm not sure who we have in the field defensively. I know they have made some substitutions.
It was Alex Camino's spot that is due up first for the Chicago Comets, but there could be some changes that they are making here as well. And this is the 3rd game of the day, so a chance to make sure everybody gets a bit of an opportunity to play in this contest. Here the players kind of calling out the defensive alignments for the Thunder. So batter ready.
All right, here we go. We'll see what the Comets can, if they can muster up some runs here. See if the Thunder can hold them. We'll see if the
charge into that one, but foul.
All right. We'll like I said, we'll see if the Comets can put some runs on the board, and we'll see what the Thunder defense can do. You don't want to relax if you're the Thunder. You want to still keep the foot on the gas, play some good sound defense. But again, you don't try to. You want to focus on your fundamentals. But we'll see if the Comets can muster some runs here.
So 2 strikes. Camino 1 for 2 today. Struck out last time up.
We may have a plane issue here. I hear a plane, but I think they're playing through it.
Ground ball does not cross the 40-foot line, so it's a foul ball. Coach Perry on to pitch again for a 5th inning for the Comets.
See what again, we'll see what happens at this at bat, but see if the Thunder can stay focused on defense.
Foul ball.
Foul tips count as foul balls, and right there.
Swing and a miss. So, 1 away. 9th strikeout so far, and 13 outs today for the Chicago Comets.
Yeah, Chicago, like I said, they won their first 2 games, and I'm sure they were, they've practiced 3 strikes in the practice cage and everything like that. So, it will, like I said, you just like regular baseball, you don't know, from game to game, everything is different.
I believe this is Gerardo Tavera is getting his first at bat of the game.
JT told me when I talked with him last night that Gerardo is an up-and-coming good prospect. He's got a lot of ability. JT thinks he can get a lot out of Gerardo, really, really get a lot out of him. So look for him to do some good things in the near future with the Comets.
Swing and a miss.
JT tells me he has a lot of ability. He's just got to put it all together.
Contact made. Ground ball. Well done defensively. Out. That was Ikram that made the play. Second solid defensive play he's made. 2 down.
Yeah. Again, what we do, what the Thunder does, we do a lot of, for like 12 straight weeks in the wintertime, is nothing but hitting. Then when we get outside in late March, early April, we do a ton of defense and very light hitting, because we've done that 12 weeks of indoor practicing, and then we do a lot of defensively out there in the outfield. And like I said, the last 5 or 10 minutes of practice, we'll do some hitting so Jared can kind of see where his batters are and see he can keep that in sync, timing down. But the majority of our outdoor practices is a lot of defense.
So this is the top of the lineup due up here. Richie Schultz's spot in the lineup. Scored the last 2 times up. Ground ball, fair territory, out. Good job that time in the field of play. And
so they're going to check and see. Now, on the late base, Greg, what will happen is the umpire will go to the scorer's table and just ask the base operator, was the bait late? But if it's obvious, they'll redo the play over. So we'll see what happens here. And the player has to call late base, not the coach, not the pitcher, but the player has to call it.
In other words, the signal did not go off in a proper fashion once the ball was hit.
Right. And we'll see what they say. But the player has to call that.
And they're going to let him swing again here.
Obviously, it was a late base. And the count stays the same, whatever it was, if it was 0-2 or 0-1.
Ground ball up the middle. And out. Great job in the field. And it's 3 up, 3 down.
And you hear in the field, when the spotter calls his own, Ikram is being like the general on the field. He tells the guy to come up, or whatever. That's a part of communicating with his team. So Ikram, again, making those plays like veterans would make, telling his players, okay, it's short after the spotter calls his own to come up. You'll hear that. I hear that in my headsets, what Ikram is telling the players after the spotter calls his own and he knows he can't get to it.
So again, we now go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Score remains 15-4 in favor of the Indy Thunder. Today's game presented in part by Kane and Abel. Orientation Mobility Services. Take a person's arm and they will lead you around the block. Give a person a cane and it will lead you around the world. It's one of the new players on your team, correct, that made that defensive play?
Imran?
Yep.
Yeah, Imran was just added to our roster. He played with Ikram, and Ikram told us about him. So, again, that word of mouth. Imran has played beep ball before as well, but he's been out for a few years, and now he's going to join our team for the rest of the season.
Let's see now if maybe you see some different batters get a look here at the plate, knowing the Thunder seemingly have this one in control with a 15-4 lead in the bottom half of the 5th. No pinch hitter here yet. This is Toby Gregory's spot in the lineup. Toby has scored twice and been retired twice. 4, 5, and 6 to up this time through for the Thunder.
Yeah, and we'll see. Like, again, the Thunder just want to get out healthy because, like I said, in all sports, any sport, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, whatever, you got to have depth. You got to have a bench. And right now we're still pretty thin, but so hopefully we can get out of here healthy and be ready for tomorrow's competition.
And we will have the championship game for you tomorrow at 8 a.m., regardless of whom is in it. That game will be seen on the ISC Sports Network and our multitude of social media outlets. Looks like Jerry Wendell's going to pitch this inning for the Indy Thunder.
Oh, good. They're going to put Jerry out there on the mound, huh?
And again, in a 15-4 game,
right,
you can get some other batters some looks. You can get your backup pitcher a little work here.
Yeah, give Jared some rest, and we'll see how this transpires here. So
had a chance to talk to Jerry before the game. Jerry these days lives in North Carolina.
Yeah, from here, but lives in North Carolina. He's retired, and but he's born and raised just a little bit. He's from Kokomo, Indiana.
Well, I saw Jerry out there. He has now moved back behind the plate. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Jared has returned.
I didn't think Jerry was gonna. Well, I was gonna say it would have been fine, whatever. But Jared, that's like a la Peyton Manning. Jared's gonna take all the reps. No pun intended.
Jim Sorgi's not getting any reps, is what you're saying?
Not getting any reps. No, I'm Jim Sorgi. I'm not getting any reps, and I understand my role. You understand that? So, no, we.
First pitch swinging. This one will spin foul.
Jared will go home. He'll rest up for tomorrow's game, and
What is you guys are playing in next weekend, correct?
Yeah, it's called the Bolingbrook Invitational Beat of the Bolingbrook Beep Ball Bash. It's in Bolingbrook, which is kind of west of Chicago. We'll be playing up there in the same 8-team tournament. We will see the Edge next week. We will see the field is loaded up there in Bolingbrook with the Edge, the Thunder. You'll see the Bayou City Heat out of Houston, San Antonio. Out of San Antonio, you'll see the Austin Blackhawks. You'll see the Minnesota Millers. You'll see the Cleveland Scrappers. It is a stud lineup up there in our first game next week. We are in the Edge's bracket, and so we will see the Edge first thing. We played the Edge really competitively in their tournament a couple weeks ago. But we will see the edge. We hopefully will see them tomorrow. Depends on how things shakes out in our bracket, and we'll definitely see them first game next week in Bolingbrook.
We are changing the ball, hence that's the reason for the momentary delay.
Yeah, it was a dead ball. The ball was completely dead. And whatever the count was, it stays the same.
So 1 strike. Again. This one in territory. And the fielder has it out.
Oh, great play. That ball looked like it was tagged pretty well, and they had a beat on the ball.
And that is just the second time in 5 innings that the leadoff runner was retired as a putout. 1 away. Great. Love that side-by-side replay to give you the accurate look. Bill Landry that made the play for the Comets.
So as another mention, I want to thank the ISC Sports Network for coming on board with the Thunder for the last 3 years, and we love the partnership with you guys, and like I said, it's none like any other thing in the country. We just hope, like I said, it's about building relationships, having a good partnership, and we're glad ISC Sports Network is a partner of the Thunder.
Changing the ball again. You guys are literally tearing covers off the ball at this point.
Yeah, we're charging them $35 a ball, too. So, yeah, maybe there might be saying something about the battery. I heard something in my headset about the battery maybe coming out. I'm not sure necessarily dead, but I will, and I'll have to charge them later on this evening.
Well, again, this was Ed Brown's spot in the lineup. This is his replacement out in the field. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So the rule applies in beep ball as does baseball. You make a great play defensively, you're bound to come up next inning.
Exactly.
Same thing happens in beep ball too. And more likely when that's the case when you've got a 6-batter lineup. I don't need to tell you it was a pass. The Chicago team will do that.
They'll let you know. Oh, good contact.
Contact made in fair territory. Fielder has it lined up and out.
Good play. Again, the fundamentally defensively by the Comets. Make it a really good play on a good, well-hit ball contact-wise, and Chicago just had it lined up.
So Imram retired, and there's 2 down. In textbook, how you do it. Get to the ground, get your body in front of it.
Exactly.
Once it hits you, pick it up.
Pick it up.
So the Thunder have scored a run in every inning so far. Another pinch hitter coming up here.
Joe Higdon, I hear, is coming in.
Tell me about Joe.
Joe Higdon, he's one of those players that gets on the team, gives good effort. Just like I said, he works hard. Joey, like I said, he's just one of those players. It's a plug-in. He's a plug-in type player. You know, plug him in here, plug him in there. But overall, he can he has good contact. It's just getting down to that baseline. We'll see if he can get down to this baseline.
This is Adam Rodenbeck's spot, who had scored all 4 times to the plate today. The second reserve player we have seen get to the plate. Swing and a miss. Looking ahead for the Comets. Spots 2, 3, and 4 due up in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, the heart of the order is coming up for Chicago.
Strike 2.
So Jared told Joey to take this pass so he could just hear the cadence. We'll see if they get in sync here and put the ball in play.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Swing and a miss.
All right.
So, retired in order for the first time are the Indy Thunder, however. They will take a 11-run lead to the top half of the 6th as you're watching the Beep Ball Bonanza here on the ISC Sports Network.
thousands of Indiana residents feel isolated from the world due to vision problems. Thanks to the National Federation of the Blind, visually impaired Hoosiers can hear newspapers, circulars, and magazines from across the globe.
I'm a Vietnam veteran. I'm blind. I read Stars and Stripes on NFB Newsline.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
Subscribe free to NFB Newsline.
Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to travel around their homes and towns. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired. Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to keep living at home. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired.
So an arduous task in front of the Chicago Comets. They have 3 outs to score 11 runs in this 6th-inning game. Thunder lead at 15-4. Alongside Darnell Booker, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thrilled to bring this to you for a 3rd time in 4 years on the ISC Sports Network.
And their heart of the order is coming up for Chicago, 2, 3, and 4 hitters. So, again, the Thunder can't relax. Thunder's got to make defensive plays. They got to be ready because we know Chicago has good contact there. Even though Chicago has sort of struggled during this game with strikeouts, Chicago still has a lot of pride and will put the ball in play, and the Thunder has to make plays.
See the banners representing the 5 world championships in this sport for the Thunder. That's behind the Thunder team bench down what would be the first base line. So Dustin Youngren, player that is due up to lead things off with the Comets here. He was 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts and 1 out in the field. Contact made. This will be in fair territory and a base hit. That's a run.
Dustin gets on the board there. Again, it's about pride for the Comets. But again, I was mentioning earlier, the Thunder has to just play sound defense because they know Chicago's about pride. They're going to put it in play. They're going to have to the Thunder's going to have to earn this win because I guarantee you Chicago's going to make them earn it by putting the ball in play.
3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, and now 1 in the 6th for the Comets. Here's Bill Landrum. Bill is 0 for 3 today as well, with 1 strikeout. Swing and a miss.
It's about timing here, and again, Bill pulls the ball quite a bit of the time, but he could sprinkle it up the middle or to the left, so the Thunder has to be ready. Action is starting to wrap up on other fields across the facility. What time did you guys get started today, Darnell? 8:30. And with the 3-strike rule, we'll hopefully we can get out here at a decent time, and I think it's good for the volunteers. There's pros and cons because there's about change. You know, right now it's 4 strikes in a pass, but like I said, when I played competitively for 12 years, I dealt with 5 strikes and 2 balls, and those games took 3 or 4 hours. So it's about that progressive change to get it to where we quote-unquote have a little bit of normalcy with baseball and regular softball with the 3 strikes. Yeah, so it's about change, and I think it's time we move in that direction because the pitchers, again, are in the batting cages. 2 strikes here. Contact made. Foul ball. It turns foul before he gets to the first base back. And for reference, this game started right at 2:10. This game's about 1:40 at this juncture. Yeah, and it's been a good clean, and the teams are going in and out off the field. So it looks like we're going to be, like I said, we got to hopefully, like I said, just that's why sports is a good reality TV show. You can't really predict it. You got to wait until actually it's all played out. So we'll see what happens here.
Bill going through his pre-at-bat routine. Gets the base check as well. Foul ball.
Right there on it. He's right there on it. Like, again, Chicago's not going to go away easy.
No runs yet from the 3 or 6 position here for the Comets. Contact made. Up the middle of the field. That should be a base hit and a run. And it will be. As that ball crossed the 170 line, but no Thunder players close to it. And first 2 batters score for the Comets here in the top of the 6th.
Good job, guys.
So Chicago put it in play. They're not going to go down easy. A little bit focused. They had that little huddle before they batted here in the 6th, and they talked about getting runs. 1 run at a time, seeing what we can do here.
So pinch hitter coming up here for the Comets. This was Giovanni Francesi's spot in the lineup. Marion Aldridge wearing number 22 for the Comets. Swing and a miss. I love the fact that you're rewarding those that are with you in practice every day. You make the trip, get you to bat.
Yep. It's not necessarily saying that the Comets are waving the white flag. It's just you want to get people in and getting them some playing time.
Get everybody game reps.
Right. Get them some reps. Just like we made our substitutions. Again, because we have 2 runs scored in this inning, and I don't think we have any outs.
Contact made. This one in the outfield, and run will score.
Here we go. Like I said, Chicago, good contact, and they're on it.
So 3 in a row for the Comets, make it 15-7.
Taking those hops.
That ball did spin wickedly after it landed.
As I say, the ball can take a hop on you. I mean, you may have it lined up, but it can take a hop.
This is Alex Gamino's spot in the lineup.
See if the Thunder can get an out here. I mean, the Comets have scored 3 straight times. See if they can get an out here.
Swing and a miss. Strikeouts the last 2 times up from this spot in the lineup. But a pinch hitter here. Noah Beckman in. Swing and a miss.
JT told me last night, Noah, sometimes sends him videos and say, Coach, am I doing this okay? Coach, am I doing that okay? So, and Noah wants to be coached and coached hard. So that's not because Noah is not from Chicago, but he's playing with the Comets. But and Dustin, Noah Beckman sends JT video all the time, and they go over it.
Contact made. Foul ball.
Here we go now. Of course, we know Chicago doesn't, as they've never taken any pitches, so it's an 0-2 count, so you know they're swinging away.
Daniel John assisting Noah. You're hearing some of the fielders being aligned. That's what you're kind of hearing in the background.
That's the spotters talking.
Swing and a miss. So 1 away.
Here we go now.
This was Tavera's spot in the lineup last time up. Tavera made contact, but was retired as the second out of the inning last time up.
Here we see who we got up here. Here we go. 62.
So Tavera, who retired as an out last time up at the plate. Swing and a miss.
Timing's right there for the Comets. Timing is right there. Chad's just missing him, but also could be he's a little bit early, a little bit late. So, but they'll get that in sync.
Contact made. Foul ball.
Here we go.
Richie Schultz, by the way, is on deck for the Comets. In fact, he is the only player that has scored twice today for the Chicago team. Tavera's ready.
Ikram is in front of Toby, and Toby let Ikram know if he get Imran after if he gets by him, let him know.
Contact made. Up the middle. Can the fielder get to it in time? No. Two fielders had gotten to it but didn't elevate the ball in time, and that's a run for the Comets.
Down. We got to get these 2 outs, and we do this. The Thunder does this in practice. We do situational defensive stuff in practice, and the Thunder has to can't relax here because again, Chicago will make them work for this victory.
And again, Imran and Toby both were kind of going for the ball for the Indy Thunder as Tavera got to the base.
And it's just like playing with each other. Imran just came in, and it's about the chemistry with Imran and Toby. They have not played together defensively, so you may have that chemistry trying to get to know each other, what their tendencies are when you're playing defensively.
There's Richie Schultz. There's going to be a review of the play, so let's take a look. Again, we got a good look at this, but just to make sure, and I think because two fielders were kind of both going for possession of the ball, that allowed the runner to get to the base in time. But what you are seeing on our feed is what the umpire is seeing as well. And
did they have it up off the ground, somebody, or if they not? I mean, they did not. It was very close. We'll see.
I believe the call was right the first time around, that the runner was safe. See contact made with the bag there, and
ball still on the ground, looks like.
Again, players have it, but
do they have it up?
Haven't elevated it.
Right, did they have so is it basically still on the ground? That's
very close. The ball is off the ground.
Is it off the ground before the batter hits the base?
Right as the batter hits the bag.
Jason will get it right.
We're slowing it down frame by frame. Contact made with the base. Not yet. Again, ball is off the ground, but it's not, again, in that elevated position.
I mean, but all it has to be is off the ground and in control. Did he have it off the ground and in control?
Safe.
Okay, and I like the way the umpire explained it, and he went back, he took his time. I mean, it took a little bit over 30 seconds, and Jason explained it perfectly because you don't have to really have it elevated. You just have it up off the ground and in control off the ground.
So 4 runs scored this inning with just 1 out. 15-8. The Comets would have to bat around at least one more time to get this game to the bottom of the 6th.
We go.
Swing and a miss.
Who do we have? Is this Richie
So
Schultz?
Schultz with an out in the field last time. 2 runs scored prior to that. Struck out to start the game. This is his 5th plate appearance of the afternoon. Foul tip.
Oh, he's right there on it. I mean, they're so in sync. Richie and Chad are so in sync right there. He's right there on it. Right there.
Count now at 0-2.
And they're going for it. They're swinging away.
Swing and a miss. So the Comets now down to a final strike. They do bat around for the 2nd time today. And Dustin Youngren, or at least his spot in the lineup, will get one more opportunity. Dustin scored his first run of the game to start the inning. He is 1 for 4. Swing and a miss.
Stay on their toes. Thunder needs to stay on their toes, and the Comets see if they can extend it a little bit more, extend the game.
Swing and a miss, and the Comets down now to a final strike. Well, again, good battle by the team from Chicago here in the top of the 6th, knowing that was quite the mountain to climb. Still trailing by 7. Swing and a miss, and that's it. Ball game is over. So the Indy Thunder go 2-1 on this day of pool play. Comets fall to the Thunder by a score of 15-8. We'll take this time out, come back and begin our post-game show. So you're watching the Beep Ball Bonanza here on the ISC Sports Network.
Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to travel around their homes and towns. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired. Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to keep living at home. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired.
I just graduated college as a blind student. How can I independently find job listings?
Thanks to the National Federation of the Blind, visually impaired Hoosiers can hear newspapers, circulars, and magazines from across the globe.
It is a fantastic service.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
Well, back for the final time today on the ISC Sports Network. The Indy Thunder rebounded from a morning loss. The Atlanta Chaos, they get a victory over the Gateway Archers in the game that preceded this one. And again, with an outburst of 12 runs in the 3rd and 4th innings, they beat the Chicago Comets today by a score of 15-8. Today's game presented in part by Bright Ideas Consulting, your logo on everything under the sun. They are located at 7425 Westfield Boulevard, and they have been since 1983. Darnell Booker will rejoin me in a matter of moments. He is going to track down some player interviews for us, as well as potentially a coach interview as well. Thunder led by Chris Dunleavy, who had 3 runs scored today. Same for Kevin Smith. Adam Rodenbeck had 4 from the number 6 position. Also Ed Brown as well as Toby Gregory both scored multiple runs for the Thunder today. For the Chicago Comets, Richie Schultz scored it twice. Other than that, it was 7 different players that each scored 1 time. Dustin Youngren, Bill Landrum, as well as Giovanni Francesi. Alex Camino with a run scored. Gerardo Tavera with a run scored as well for this Chicago team. Again, the teams that won their respective pools will play in our championship game that we'll have for you tomorrow. That is an early start. That is an 8 a.m. beginning here on the ISC Sports Network. And teams will be determined as pool play is wrapping up throughout the facility as we speak. So let's go ahead and step aside one more time. When we return, hope to have some player interviews for you. Again, the Indy Thunder win this one by a score of 15-8 as you're watching the Beep Ball Bonanza here on the ISC Sports Network.
Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to travel around their homes and towns. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired. Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to keep living at home. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired.
I'm Danny Wayne Beamer, Program Manager of the Elder Blind Program at the Will Center in Terre Haute, Indiana. I introduce the NFB Newsline to seniors in 13 southwestern counties in Indiana. I also utilize the NFB Newsline for my radio station public affairs shows. The NFB Newsline. Experience it today.
Learn more by calling 855-963-6476 or visit nfbnewsline-in.org.
We are the nation's blind, and we read NFB Newsline.
Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to continue their employment. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired. Bosma Enterprises gives Hoosiers with vision loss the tools and training they need to cook meals safely. To give help or get help, visit bosma.org. Bosma Enterprises, visionary solutions for the blind and visually impaired.
Now welcome back for the final time on this absolutely beautiful Saturday afternoon here at North Central High School. A full day of beep ball has come to an end. Again, all the teams have played 3 pool play games so far today. There is 1 game left to be played tomorrow. We're going to hand off some headsets here to our guests that are preparing to join us. Adam Rodenbeck, who is the leading scorer today for the Indy Thunder, and pitcher and defensive coordinator Jared Woodard, kind enough to join us now. Adam, let's start with you. First of all, congratulations, 4 for 4 and 4 runs scored. Just your thoughts about how you and your team performed this afternoon.
I think we really did a decent job. It was we stuck together and played well, scored a lot of runs and came out on top. So I'm pretty pleased with our performance.
I know that it is a bit of a team in transition this year. Some new faces, some veteran guys taking on a greater role. What has this season been like so far for you and your teammates on the Thunder?
It has been a little bit of up and down and some differences. Players and people have gotten hurt, so we're really just kind of happy to do the best that we can. And so far, I think that we're looking like we've got a really good team here.
3 games in 1 day. How you feeling at the end of the day?
I am a little sore, and it's kind of warm out here. So, but it's baseball, so I love the sport, and whatever it takes, I'm here for it.
I'm going to say, can you just explain to our viewers and listeners the feeling that you get going out and playing this sport on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of other sports, and I'm completely blind. So, like running track, things like that, I've ran with a guide. But in this sport, it's you hit the ball and you're running to the base, or you're out there in the field and you're trying to track one down. And it's the only time that I really have the chance to run on my own, do it all by myself. And, a little bit of help from the pitcher throwing the ball in, or spotters giving us an idea of where the ball is coming. But otherwise, it's me running, and that's an amazing feeling.
Adam, I know that, again, you've got a match to play tomorrow, hopefully a championship match in terms of how the other pool play played out. The World Series is now a few weeks away. What are you and your teammates working on these next 5 or 6 weeks before you try to go defend that World Series championship?
I think it's a lot of kind of looking at what happened over the weekend and trying to fix any holes that the coaches see in our defense. That's going to be the big thing, really, is to focus on our defense and make sure that we're picking up the balls that get hit out there.
Adam, great job today. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, Adam Rodenbeck, kind enough to join us, and now the pitching and kind of defensive coordinator for the Indy Thunder in Jared Woodard, kind enough to join us. And first of all, Jared, you had a couple of tough shots back at you. How you feeling after today?
Good. I'm feeling good. That happens. That's a part of it. Sometimes you don't have time. to move, you know. Just fortunate enough that it don't hit you in the face or somewhere worse, you know. So
15-8. How you feeling about how your team played this afternoon?
I'm good. You know, I felt like we were able to get some guys in there at the end who've been coming to practice, and so another guy who's just joined the squad with us, and so it was nice to see a couple of you know, guys who were struggling a little earlier in the day that were able to get some stuff going there in their last couple of bats. So it was a good time to work on stuff.
What was it like to be out there and not have Darnell hollering at you for the course of a couple hours?
A lot quieter. No, Book keeps us on our toes and you know, make sure everybody's in the right place and all those things. And so had to have some guys fill in, you know, and take up those duties as he was out and about, making sure the tournament's a success. But it's been going great, you know. The fields are lined. There's trash cans at each, you know, tent. We have volunteers, great umpires, so it's really been a great tournament.
Jared, you literally spent almost your entire life around this sport. When people ask you about why you do this and what you get from this experience, what do you tell them?
Well, something that Adam spoke on a little bit is, you know, not a lot of team sports for those who are blind and visually impaired. It's close to me and my heart and how I grew up. So I do it for work too, and it's just enjoyable to help somebody else succeed. You know, whether that be scoring a run or coaching them up to field a ball, you know, and get a team win. You know, it's just great team stuff that I like about it, but also individual confidence and really being able to play a sport and succeed.
Same final question I ask Adam. Obviously, again, you want to win every tournament you're in, but the pedigree of this program is pretty impressive. 5-time World Series champs. What are you and the guys working on these next few weeks heading into that World Series coming up in late July?
Yeah, he touched on defense a little bit, you know, still figuring out where guys go and how they mesh together. Getting the cardio up and getting the workout in. Like you said, 3 games a day. On these weekend tournaments, it's 3-1. The World Series, you know, it's 3-1, possibly 2, possibly 3, you know. So it's 5 days of it. So really getting a bunch of guys a bunch of work in so they're strong enough to go through it. But, you know, playing together, meshing well, and getting guys on the field together to get them that time before the series.
Jared, congrats on the win, buddy. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, thank you.
You got it. Jared Woodard again, pitching coach and defensive coordinator for the Indy Thunder, and Darnell Booker now rejoins me. Darnell, kind of your final thoughts on the day that was for your team, the Indy Thunder.
I think the Thunder, after that first after the first game, they fell short. I think they showed a lot of moxie. They came back and won the 2 games that they have to see if we can put ourselves in a position to play on Sunday morning for the championship game. We'll know here shortly where we're going to stand. But I think the Thunder bounced back in championship fashion, and that we have that DNA of championship. And I feel that we're in a good spot after winning these 2 games.
My friend Darnell has done some sports talk radio in Indianapolis over the years. Today was his television debut. You did a fantastic job, Coach. I know that you loved being on the broadcast. How much do you miss being out there on the field?
It's a little bit of it. You know, it was tugging at me, but I wanted to be out there. But I'm glad I'm sitting here with the pro, and let's do it again tomorrow morning.
All right, sounds good. Again, regardless whether it's the Indy Thunder or not, we will be here for the championship game tomorrow at 8 o'clock again. ISC Television, ISCSportsNetwork.com, and ISC social media outlets will have that championship game for you tomorrow at 8. Thanks for joining us for the Beep Ball Bonanza. Go get your push-ups in here on the ISC Sports Network.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at ISCSportsNetwork.com.